Well, welcome everyone. We are here for our first meeting of the year with ETBU cross country coach Natalie Bach Prather. We'll be meeting once a week with Coach and talking about all things ETBU cross country, which kicks off their season this coming weekend on Saturday morning over at UT Tyler. They'll be competing in the UT Tyler meet starting bright and early at 7:30 over there. We'll get to that in just a second, but Coach Prather, welcome to the show, and let's talk a little bit, first of all, about your roster and the women's roster specifically. A lot of names on here, and you've kind of got some spattering there of some really good experienced runners, as well as a nice little freshman class. Talk a little bit about your roster as a whole, and then we'll break it down there class by class.
Our roster as a whole looks a lot stronger than we have in the past years. We've got very strong seniors and returning girls that are coming, and our freshmen happen to be the fastest freshman class that have come in. I think overall at least our first 5 runners are the strongest that I've seen here. Even when I ran here as a student, it's the strongest 5. So I think we're going to make a bigger statement, hopefully, in our conference.
You do have some good experience coming back. Kara Beal is a senior. You're actually your only senior, but she's back and this will be her 4th year to run for the team. She obviously is your leader, but talk a little bit about just your returners in general and how they've been able to work with your freshmen to this point.
The returners have been awesome. They have been able to help the freshmen. They've been a very strong bond. All 4 of them came back strong. I mean, they all ran through the summer, so they knew it was going to come. They prepared well, and they've really helped the freshmen and all the younger people come up and introduce them to cross country. It's been very good.
I know this is your, I guess, second full recruiting class of freshmen, and I know you are excited about them. How big of an adjustment have you seen here in the preseason workouts to them having to adjust to the college races?
Pretty big. I've had lots of conversations. It's been very overwhelming for the freshmen. I've had a few that maybe didn't want to stay after the first week of practice, which is normal. The mileage is much higher than anything they've ever run before. We start off our long run with 6 miles, and the longest any of these kids have run has been 4, so that's a big deal. Their bodies are adjusting, and I think that they're getting better now. After the first meet, I think they're going to get excited and see the competition and want to stick with it.
Let's talk a little bit about here briefly about the men's roster. You're not officially the men's coach, but you did mention that they do work out with y'all and y'all kind of run their practices. Talk a little bit about them in general, what you know as far as what you've seen in some preseason running here.
Very excited. I've got several freshman recruits that I've brought in that are very strong. We have 5 pure cross-country runners that are excited to compete. We have a lot of faster guys this year as well. Nick, obviously, is our returning, that was our all-conference runner last year. He will be again this year, but we've got a couple freshmen that may be able to achieve that as well, or at least get really close to that.
Well, they're going to get a quick opportunity here coming up in a couple of days to kind of see where y'all are at. Obviously, you open the season on this Saturday, again over in Tyler. 7:30 a.m. is officially, I guess, when the gun goes off, but talk a little bit about what you know about the competition over there. UT Tyler, obviously a strong program in cross country in our conference. What do you expect to see and hope to see as far as coming out of this and being able to build for the rest of the season?
Generally, our first meet, which tends to always be UT Tyler, is not our strongest because we've never had a lot of time to prepare. But everyone knew that coming in this year. Everyone was aware and prepared a lot harder. We've done hills. It's a very hilly course. I think that it's going to be easier for them than it has in the past. Also, instead of it being a 6K, it's only a 5K this year, which will make a big difference, and it will be good for all the freshmen as well. But I'm expecting them to do the best that I've ever seen them do at UT Tyler. I think they're going to be the most prepared.
Conditions obviously have a lot to do with times and things of that nature. You talk about wet courses, rainy courses, wind, that kind of thing. There's been a little added element from nature, I guess you could say, here recently around East Texas and specifically over toward Tyler as well, with the wildfires going on. And everyone that lives in this area can attest to the fact it's been a little bit difficult at times, especially for people with breathing problems. How do you expect something like that to maybe affect the way cross-country runners in general have to prepare themselves for a meet in those kind of conditions?
Right. That's a little tricky because you don't want them to practice in the smoke, but they may have to run in it on Saturday. We've been doing a lot of indoor running the last several days because the ash and the smoke just settles in your lungs too quickly. So Saturday may be tough, but it's going to be tough for everybody, I think, having to breathe. I'm hoping it will clear up, but that will definitely affect. Times may be a little bit slower than maybe on a perfect weather day, but hopefully it'll clear out.
Well, hopefully and prayerfully that maybe it'll all clear out like you say, and it won't be that big of a deal as far as creating conditions for you guys. Well, once again, Coach, good luck. I know y'all are anxious to get started here and get your first meet under your belt. And we'll meet back here next week, and we'll talk about the results from that and just kind of look forward to the rest of the year.
All right.
Thank you, Coach.